Hey guys, what's going on? Back with another video. How's everybody doing? I'm going to be showing you today in Madden just a quick tutorial for basically plays that, like, if you, maybe it's not really cheating, it's more of just like a strategy. You know, people talk about, like, oh, it's a money play. You know, they talk about, money plays, or basically plays that every time you run them, the other team can't cover them. I really don't like those types of videos because it's usually never true. It's usually like some really contrived thing you gotta do. It's like, all right, you're gonna use this team with this playbook, and you're gonna do like the formation I form pro halfback twist deluxe, super. It's like, no, like, it's not practical. Like, in a game, nobody's actually gonna go through and like do all that every single time, and no, it's just not practical. But I did figure out sort of the same idea as a money play. Just plays, if you really want to like get yards, this is something you can do. It's quick and it's easy. It's not necessarily any particular play, but really no matter what play you call, just certain things you can do to always have your guy be open. And really how I figured this out, is I've noticed not only this year's Madden, this is Madden 20, but last year, the last few years in Madden, this has kind of really been the case, where the AI, whether you're playing online, Ultimate Team, whatever difficulty, single player, whatever, it's the same AI you're dealing with here, unless somebody's controlling the player, but you can only control one player at a time. But what I noticed is, and I just went to like a practice mode with two random teams here. I think it gave me Baltimore and New England. So we'll just go through and just do like some random play in here. We'll do that one, and then Baltimore we'll actually see, now I know what play I called. So just to show that like it's random, I'll just pick random play. So I don't know what. Okay, it looks like cover one, single high safety man coverage here. But anyways, it's just because I know a lot about football, so whatever. Anyway, so basically what I noticed is the AI in Madden, anytime you make a change, not anytime, but a lot of the times, especially at like key moments in the game, if you make a change, like if you change like one of the receivers' routes, or you flip the play, or you change the play calls, like let's say you had like a play action called, and then all of a sudden you change it to a run, for some reason, even though none of the players change position on the field, and like nobody's moved, nobody's done anything, you just like, call an audible, like assuming the team doesn't know, the team doesn't know what your play call is, this is like Spygate or something, but like realistically, the other team doesn't know what your play is. So if you call an audible, yeah, they know you audible, but they don't know what you did. In Madden, of course, like theoretically it shouldn't know, but since it's Madden and since it's a computer, since it's AI, if they really want to know what play you called, like the computer can know, you know what I mean? Like it's not like two actual teams with people that can't read each other's minds. Like it's actually, the AI in Madden, if it wants to make it more difficult for you, it can just change to a better coverage because it knows what you're calling. And so even though it shouldn't work that way, because like in a real game you wouldn't know what the other team's doing, Madden, what they do, because it's all just percentages, they figure like, okay, this is supposed to be a hard difficulty, we need like another turnover, like it'll just make whatever it is happen. Like if you're calling, like, I don't know, like whatever this play is here, like say we got like a go route to Edelman there, and the game decides like, okay, well, we want this to be difficult, or we want a turnover or something, that safety will just, like it'll just run over and pick the ball off, and there's nothing really you can do about it. But basically what I'm saying is when you call an audible, so if you change, like, same example there, like, so let's say you have, like a play action call and you switch it to a run, like for some reason you'll see these plays where all of a sudden, like, like the edge rusher over there, like, comes over the middle and lines up right over the hole. Even though you haven't moved anybody, nobody's moved, you haven't changed, the personnel on the field, you haven't, everybody's standing exactly where they were. Madden, a lot of times, to better, like for instance, if there's something that's like wide open, like if, like, let's say like there's nobody lined up over 83, and I'm like, oh crap, or like let's say there's like nobody in the flat, I'll be like, oh wow, let me call an out route here to take advantage of that. And as soon as I call the out route, even though all the personnel's the same and nobody's moved, all of a sudden, like a lot of the times, I'll just see, the safety just comes down and starts, like, and I can't really point here, but like, starts sitting in the flat, even though the personnel's the same, everybody's lined up in the same position. And really what that has to do with is Madden, because there's certain, idiosyncrasies, like, it can only let you, like, you can't just have blown coverage every time. So instead of, calling a good defense, what the game will do is just look at what you're playing and be like, all right, well, this can't be that easy, based on what the difficulty is. And then just, based on what you're doing, we'll just start moving guys, to start sitting on your routes, which is not, it's basically cheating is what it is. So basically what I figured out from this is like, if I call, like, let's all of a sudden, like, like if I change the route to, the tight end, Watson there, to Ben Watson, like, let's say I call, like, an out route, or let's say I call, like, an in cut, all of a sudden, like, that high safety there will start, like, playing over to the right. Like, you make these adjustments, and inexplicably the defense makes adjustments, even though, visibly nothing's changed. Like, everybody's the same, everybody's standing in the same place. The AI will still be like, all right, well, now if you're clearly going to go there, so let's move the guy over here, even though it shouldn't be doing that. What I figured, and this happens a lot, you might not even realize it, but if you look at the adjustments that are made, it happens all the time in Madden. Basically, without further ado, enough of me, yapping here. What I figured out is whether you're playing online or CPU or whatever it is, like the AI still controls like 90% of what's going on. What I figured out is that you can use that to your advantage. So you just look at a defense, right? And I just picked a random defense. I mean, it looks like cover one, but who the hell knows? If you can use that to your advantage. So what I'm going to show you here is audibles you can call to take advantage of whatever defense that the AI is trying to throw. Or if you're playing another person, whatever defense they throw at you, you can just take advantage of idiosyncrasies with the AI that things they're counting on. And if you just change your routes at the line of scrimmage, you can be open and get like any number of yards every time. Not every single time, but this is pretty crazy. All right, so watch this. All right, so this is what I would do if this was me. So, all right, let's say I call this play, and let's say this is the defense that I see. What I would do is I would look at this and say, it's the RB button symbol there is kind of hiding it, but you can see the corner playing off of white, which is B, and he's playing way off. He's playing like, let's see, like 11, 12 yards, or maybe more like 10 yards off of him, whereas you can see the other guys are like, 5, 6 yards. I mean, he's giving them like an extra like 5 yards of coverage there. And that's because the AI is looking at this and be like, okay, well, that's your outside receiver, which in this case is like a short running back. But the AI doesn't figure out, oh, wait a minute, this guy isn't going to like run down, basically this guy is like a strong outside receiver where we need to cover down the field because he's just like a short little dude. What we should be covering, what the AI should be covering is like, the in cuts, the crossers, like the comebackers, things like that. And it's not going to do that because it's the friggin' AI. So basically what you can do here is like, if this was the play and this was the defense I was looking at, this is what you would do. And I'll show you like a ton of these plays so you can figure out what I'm going for here. So what I would do is I would press, and this is on Xbox, but I mean the PlayStation, I assume you can figure out it's the same button. So I'm going to press Y, and then I'm going to change the route of the tight end to a go route. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the route of the running back who's lined up on the outside to a slant. So now what's going to happen here is the two tight ends, A and RB, let's call them, are going to pick, or not necessarily pick, but they're going to cause the cornerbacks that are on them to have to back up, both of them. And then they're obviously running through in the routes, which is what's going to happen there is the corner that's playing like 10 friggin' yards off of that little running back there, when he comes to react to the slant, which he's not going to be expecting, he's going to get picked by like all 4 of those players, and the slant's going to be wide open. So watch this. Right, here he comes. B, hit him. Like that was like 15, 20 yards right there. There you go. So we'll do this again. The defense is going to call another, which means I should call a random player. And you can see how wide open that guy was because of one adjustment that I made. And it seems a lot more complicated than it is. There's like a lot of rambling on there. All right, so let's say we're going to go with I don't know, like this mesh route, and then we'll do a random defense. Okay, so now I'm going to look at this here, and I'm going to see that you can see the edge rusher is lined up in between my left tackle and the slot receiver. And then we've got a corner playing off of him. This looks like zone. It's probably like some sort of like Tampa 2. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to look at the fact that this is what I would do. I would look at the fact that there is a huge gap right here between the safety, the corner, and the edge rusher. So you can kind of look around like the 20-yard line on the left side there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get Edelman, and I'm just going to put him on a go route. So you can see how he is running through that gap, that natural gap in the defense here. Now, Edelman is a short, I mean, it's kind of funny because it's the Patriots, and It's kind of what they're known for. He's a short receiver. He's not beating that safety down the field. You got like friggin' Ed Reed sitting out over there. You're not going to beat that guy. But what we're going to do here is the edge rusher is going to come in. The corner is going to go with the X, with Edelman here. And the safety, you don't really have to worry about him. But what that's going to do is it's going to clear everything out in the flat for our running back Y. I don't really have to do anything else because I already know pretty much what's going to happen here. And I call a random play, so you know it's legit. Anyways, we'll hike the ball. Here we go. Hit Y, out wide, juke, run, juke. Almost to the end zone. We're not going to do that because it's a little running back. But we got we got like, 20 yards there off of that one. Off of something that probably should have been covered up. Same route here. Now you can see the defense because there's another play here. We've got like the edge rusher and the linebacker like hugging each other here. But we can show you how, same play. And the same play on offense. The defense has got a different play. Now I'm going to look at this. I'm going to be like, all right, well, what are we going to do here? So the defense this time adjusted by clogging up that left flat. So you can see how like now that gap doesn't exist anymore. You get these guys like literally they're like hugging each other. It's like unrealistic because the AI is like, oh crap, we got to go cover that now. So what I would do in this scenario when you're dealing with this over-aggressive defense is I'm going to get Demaryius Thomas, who's not on the Patriots anymore, but I'm going to have him run a go, and I'm going to get Watson and have him run out because what's going to happen now, the edge rusher on the right side there is going to come in. Demaryius Thomas is going to clear out the corner, and the safety is going to go with him. Or at least the corner is going to react to Thomas long enough for the tight end Watson to get wide open. So now the safety is going to stay on Thomas, and the corner is going to react to Thomas, which will give Watson enough time to get open. And the reason I figured that out is because you can see basically the only two guys on the field responsible for those two players are the safety and the corner. You got everybody else bunched up on the left side of the field. You've got the edge rusher is going to come in, and there's just two guys on those two guys here. Now, if I was really like audacious here, I could call like a corner route, but I'm not going to do that just because like these guys are not exactly. New England isn't exactly known for having great receivers, so I'm not really going to risk it with that. But basically, what I would do here, we'll go ahead and put the play art away. I would look at this and be like, okay, well, you can see the left side of the field. Forget going over there. You got like half friggin' team meeting going on over there. But you look at the right side of the field. You got an edge rusher coming in. You've got a safety who's going to take Demaryius Thomas, and the corner is going to react to him out in the flat, which the delay of that and the pick that's probably going to happen there is going to allow the tight end to be wide open in the flat. So we'll go ahead and call that. Here we go. Bang, bang, wide open, stiff arm down the sideline, and there you go, wide open. So we'll go ahead. We'll call a timeout. Now I'm going to quit yapping and giving you so much analysis so you can just kind of see it more. I just wanted to explain all of it. Now you can see like much more realistically kind of what you would do. Okay, so I'm going to go, I'm not going to call it random play, but we're going to do, I don't know, just some random thing here. All right, we'll do levels, sale, whatever. Random defense. Okay, here we go. All right, so now we can see the defense. We've got like routes galore on this thing right here. So look at this. So what I'm going to see here is we've got a corner on the left side. They're playing way off of Edelman. And we've got the corner who's kind of bunched up on Thomas. And then you can kind of see where there's basically like a flood route concept here where we're kind of getting everybody over to one side of the field from the other. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to look at this and be like, okay, again, we have only two guys on the left side of the field. Just two guys. And what they're going to do is they're going to go with Edelman and Thomas. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the tight end Lacoste, and we're going to audible him to an out route to the left. Because both of those guys are going to drag all the coverage over to the right, and nobody's going to be over on the left. Now, if for some reason they are, like if they're playing like some sort of like heavy zone, then you just go to the other guys. So like Y is going to run out to the left, assuming that Thomas and Edelman are going to take the two guys that are on them. If they don't and they sit on the route, well, then that means either one of those guys is going to be wide open because there were only, there's three players and two defenders. So somebody's going to be open. I'm assuming it's going to be Lacoste. So basically, I'll just reset this thing here so you can see. You look at this play. I'm seeing that there's two guys on the left side of the field. So instead of who are going to take those two defenders with them. So instead of Lacoste going to the left, go to the right, we're going to have him go to the left because now we know nobody's going to be over there. Hike the ball. Here we go. Out. Wide open. There we go. Totally like uncovered. Like 10, 15 yards there. Do it again. I'll just speed this up a little bit so you can kind of see this more like in real time. So let's just do a random pass. Maybe we should just do. I'll just do a random play. If it doesn't give me like a running play. But anyway, and we'll do a random play over here too. Okay, so it does give me a running play. All right, well, you can do the same thing with a run if you want. It's a little bit more limited. Basically, what I would do in this scenario here is, okay, there's a run. There's a run's never going to work. There's 1, 2, 3, like half their, more than half their guys are lined up over here. This is never going to work. You can see how the Mike linebacker, who's got the ammo over his head, is going to come around the edge way faster than this running back. It's never going to work. So what you can try to do here is we'll go ahead and flip this around to the other side, because you can see now we've got the Mike linebacker. We got all those guys are lined up on the right. The left side's wide open. We're not going to get much with this just because of how deep they're playing their coverage here. But you can see we're going to get way more yardage than the nothing that we would have got. And this guy got tripped up because he's 2 feet tall. But you get the idea. So we'll do this again. Now this time it called us a random play. It's called a slants. So we can actually do the same thing here. So we've got Dorsett lined up on the outside, Watson here. So what I would do is I would look at this and I would say that we got, let's see, Thomas is going to come inside. So he's going to bring the corner. And then we've got the other corner here lined up right over Edelman. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Edelman on a post. And I'm going to keep Thomas on the slant, because when Edelman goes out on the go route here, he's going to bring the corner with him. The safety's going to go with him, and then there's not really going to be anybody on Thomas, because he's going to come in, and then the corner's going to be behind him. So we'll go do this. Wide open. There we go. Around the 10. So you can see how this works here basically every time. Okay, so this is like some crazy route they're calling for us now. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to look at this and be like, okay, well, let's see. We've got a lot of defense going on the right side of the field. A lot of defenders, rather. And on the left side, not so much. So, again, we'll put Edelman on the go route. And then what that's going to do is it's going to take... that's going to take everybody. The edge rusher is going to come in. The linebacker is going to go with him. And the corner is going to stay on the outside. And so White on this, like, post route. Friggin', I don't even know how you describe that route there. He should be wide open when he cuts for his route. So you can see what this looked like before. We had Edelman coming in. We had White going like right out to where Edelman is, and like everybody's kind of staying in that same little area there, which is not going to work. There's like 4 defenders right there, maybe even 5, depending on if they drop a linebacker. So what we're going to do, we're going to have Edelman go on the go route. So he's going to bring the linebacker and the safety with him, and then White's should be wide open there when he cuts for his route. Bang, bang, bang. There we go. Look at that, wide open. So, I mean, this works pretty much every time. I mean, it's like, you're not going to get touchdowns on every play, but you're not going to get, there's no play where you're going to get touched, a touchdown on everything. So, that's anybody who tells you that's lying. But you can see here how this works. Like, okay, so we'll switch to this here, play action. And that's it. So, look at this. Look at the route. Look at this toxic stew that the defense has cooked up for us here. We've got a cornerback and a safety sitting right on the tight end's route. We've got an edge rusher, 2 linebackers, and a safety sitting on the other tight end's routes, and then Edelman is never going to beat that corner because he's short and he's not fast enough for that. So what I'm going to do over here is I'm going to come over, which is tough because because we have limited receivers on the field here. We kind of get more like a max protect going. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to realize, like, okay, look at they're sitting on those routes there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to audible and open up another route. So we'll go to Michelle. We'll have him swing out left. That's not the one I wanted. I wanted this one here. So now he's going to swing out left, and he's going to be just the other thing we're going to do here. The other thing you want to focus on is the routes you call. Not all of them are guys you're going to throw to, but you basically what you want to do here is, cause the defense to react away from wherever you want to put the ball, which is basically what we're trying to do. And there's a long-winded way of explaining this. So what we're going to do is every time, that's what we've been doing here. We're directing the defense away from where we want to go with the ball. So we're going to keep Lacoste right on that out route there, or that corner route, basically. We're not going to go to him because he's going to draw all that coverage there, and it's going to be wide-ass open for this running back on the swing route right here. So we go, hike the ball, ball's out. There we go. Juke him, stiff arm, outside. I mean, there you go. Wide open, which if we kept it the way it was, it probably would have been picked. We'll do it again here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to look at this and be like, all right, well, they're bunching up all their coverage here. So we're going to get Watson, and we're going to put him on a post route because there is friggin' nobody down there. You can see there's no safety. You get the, we get like the single high safeties kind of lined up, towards the left here. So what we're going to do is we're going to get Lacoste, and we're going to put him on the same route because now that safety can't come to Watson. He has to stay on Lacoste. The rest of the routes don't even matter because we know Watson's going to be, pretty much wide open here. The other thing we could do, actually, we're going to leave it like that. Here we go. Like the ball, A, over the top, wide open. There you go. It's like I'm kind of calling it every time. We'll do a couple more of these just so you get the idea. And we'll switch to this one here. All right, so we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to look at where the defense is, look at the coverage. This is actually a pretty well-defended route, but it seems like the action's kind of already built into this play. So you can see the receiver there, Axe Dorsett's going to come around. He's going to bring the coverage with him out to the outside. That route's never going to work because he's never going to beat, you know, like 3 guys there. But you can see what's going on here. As you can see, there's two corners lined up over Dorsett and Edelman, respectively. But when you look at Edelman's route, he's not going anywhere. He's just coming back in across all those linebackers, and that's never going to work. So what we're going to do here is we're going to audible Edelman out. So you can see what's, and then we're going to get Dorsett, and we're just going to put him on a slant. So now what's going to happen is Dorsett is going to drag both of those corners with him, and then it's going to give Edelman a window to get open on the outside. Bang, bang, there you go. Right down the field. So, I mean, these are pretty much like, you know, 98% completion percentage on some of these plays. So, we'll just do, like, all right, like this one here. I'll show it to you again. And if it's confusing, I understand. Sounds confusing. Once you get the hang of this, what we're trying to do again is we're going to use our audibles. We're going to change the routes on the plays to get the defense to move away from wherever our first read is. So if we got like a read we want to go to, we're going to change the route so that the defense has to go away from that guy to get him open. So you can look at this here. You can see what's going to go on. I got the 2 corners lined up over Demarius Thomas and Julian Edelman. And again, this works. Every team, every playbook, doesn't matter. It's just like that's the thing. You watch those other money plays, it doesn't work because you know you have to have this really intricate scenario. This, all you're doing is you're changing your routes to get the defense, the AI, to move off of whoever you want to throw to, and they'll be open almost every time. Okay, so we're gonna look at this one here. Bing, 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 bing. All right, so we got Dorsett on the outside. We're actually gonna keep him there, and then what we're gonna do is we're going to move Thomas. We're going to have him on an in cut, and then we're going to put Edelman on a go route. So now what's going to happen is the in cut is going to get that cornerback on the left side of the screen behind Demarius Thomas. Edelman's going to take the corner with him up the field, and then Thomas will be wide open coming over the middle. Now what can happen here if they're playing like a tricky zone, like I was saying before, if the cornerback does not go with Edelman and stays on Demarius Thomas's route, that means Julian Edelman's going to be wide open. Because that means the defender didn't go with him. So anyways, I expect Thomas to be wide open here because what we did, again, I'll show it to you again. So did you see that there? You see how the defense just reacted? So now I'm calling it run play, and the guys on the outside just bunched up, which they didn't do before, even though it's the same road and all the personnel and everything's the same. But we'll go back to 4 verticals here. So again, did you just see how the defense moved before the offense even did? So the defense just stepped inside, right? You can rewind and watch that. The defense just stepped inside a little bit before the offense even moved inside. So Edelman just took like 2 steps right, but the corner just moved inside before he even did because the defense already knows what the routes are going to be, which is why you need to do this. Or if you want to be open all the time, this is what you need to do. So here we are. We're back at what we were doing here. We're going to change Edelman to the go route, change Demarius Thomas to the in cut here. Hold on a second. There we go. And Edelman will take the corner. And Demarius Thomas will be wide open. There you go. Bang, bang, open, completion every time. We'll do like 2 more of these. I'll put this in the description. So like if this is going on forever, you can just kind of read the description. It'll kind of tell it to you in a much more concise way, if you will. All right, so here we go. We're just gonna whatever pass here doesn't really matter. Okay, so now we got slants. So now what we're gonna do with this one here is we're going to have. Well, we're going to do what we did before. We're going to look at the defense. We're going to see where the defense is lined up. We're going to figure out who we want to go to. We want to go to, I don't know, pick a guy. I guess we'll go to, we're going to Demarius Thomas. We'll go to Edelman. So we can look at Edelman here. Edelman's kind of in a tough situation here because he's out there with the corner all alone. There's not much we can do for him just because there's nobody with him to tweak the routes. But there actually is something we're going to do here. So what we can do is if you look at his route here, he's going to be running that slant. But the problem is the corner will stay with him. The safety's right over the middle. There's 2 linebackers right out there. So his route's pretty much covered. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to change it to nope, that's not what I want to do. We're just going to change it to a curl route. Because now what's going to happen is we're going to avoid the safety. We're going to avoid those 2 linebackers. The corner's going to go with him, but he's not going to turn around in time. So if we hit him right when he's coming around on the hitch, He should be wide open. Bang, bang, X, bang, open. There you go. Touchdown. And I gotta write this in the description just so you kind of understand what we're doing. You know, a little bit more concise than a half-hour video this is turning into. All right, so here we go. Here's another route right here. So we're gonna look at this one here. We're gonna figure out who we want to go to. I guess might as well go to Burkhead here. So what we're gonna do, Burkhead's gonna come out into the flat, which means we're going to have what we're gonna need to do is that corner that's right out there by the 20. We're gonna need him to stay out of the flat. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a route kind of in his area that keeps him out of the flat. So we're gonna get Demaryius Thomas. We're going to put him on a corner route. So now you get both Watson and Thomas running corner route. So that's going to take, you know, almost all the coverage over there. And now Burkhead should be wide open out into the flat. And there you go. Open, juke. There you go. Open every time. So again, we're just changing the routes to move the defenders away from the guy we want to go to is what we're doing here. So I'll show it to you again with this one here. I think you kind of get the hang of it now. We got Lacoste, who's covered by like 4 guys. He's got a safety, a line corner, and 2 linebackers. Again, that's never going to work. But what we're going to do here is we're going to look where are there no defenders in this play right here? Well, there's no defenders basically between the numbers and the left hash going all the way down there. So what we're going to do is we're going to change Lacoste to a post right there because now he's basically going to blow by all those defenders. We're just going to have to hit him before the safety. And if that doesn't work, what we're going to do with Watson here, since Edelman's going to take the corner down the field, we're going to change Watson's route to a corner route here. And either one of those guys, if not both, should be open. Hike the ball, bang, fake that, hit the X, there you go. And, you know, it got swatted there because the guy's like 2 feet tall. But, you know, if we try it again, it's going to work. It's going to be a different play here. But you get the idea. Screen pass. We'll just go with vertical route here. All right, so you see this one. So you can see basically everybody's going to be covered on this one because Dorsett's going to go out into the basically on a wheel route, but that's going to take the corner with him. He's not going to get open because the corner is going to be playing inside. Edelman's going to get covered by, let's see, the edge rusher, the linebacker. Everybody's on him. Demaryius Thomas isn't going to get open. They've got pretty good coverage for this one. So what we're going to do to get, I don't know, pick a guy. We'll get, I don't know, we'll get Edelman open on this one. What we're going to do is we're just going to change Watson to a go route, which means he's going to come basically right out in front of Edelman's route and clear out all those guys. Do that, bang, they took the bait, go to Edelman, open, there you go. And it's even a touchdown, look at that. Apparently nobody can tackle. All right, we'll do just like 2 more, just, you know, to kind of bring it home here. All right, here we go. So we got this right here. We're going to look at who do we want to get open. Let's get Demaryius Thomas open. So what we have to do is look at who's going to be on Thomas. We've got 2 corners and a safety. So what we can do to get the corners and the corner and the safety to stay away from Demaryius Thomas to keep him open is we'll just have Edelman go basically take both of those guys. So we'll put them on the streak. So now you can see what this looked like before. You can see how Edelman's going to come inside, which is not going to help because Thomas is going to come the same way. So the defense is going to stay in the same part of the field. So what we need to do is get the corner and the safety to get the hell out of the way for Demaryius Thomas. So you can see Edelman's route there. We're just going to change that to a post route, and now it's going to clear up both of those guys. What we're also going to do, since that's like a pretty deep in cut there, it's going to take forever for that to get set up. We're going to change Demaryius Thomas to a slant, which is going to come together a lot more quickly. So now I'm guaranteeing you this guy is going to be wide open because what we've done is the corner who's on Demaryius Thomas, you can see how the slant is going to happen before where the corner is playing right now. So he's going to beat that coverage, and Edelman is going to take away those other 2 guys. Here we go. Bang, bang. Wide open over the middle of the field. There you go. And we'll do 1 more of these just to kind of wrap it all up here. All right, so this is some kind of bizarro route. They're giving us look at all the hitches. It's never going to work. Okay, so now what we want to do, we can just do the same play. So you can see how there are now 2 players, 2 defenders covering 2 receivers. So you can see there's 2 corners. There's a corner on Demaryius Thomas. There's a corner on Julian Edelman. We're just going to do the same thing as we did before. So if you left this alone, what's going to happen is Demaryius Thomas is going to come over the inside. And that corner, I mean, by the time Demaryius Thomas is like coming kind of right past where, I don't know, by the time he crosses where the numbers are on his way inside, that corner who's on Edelman is going to still be in that area right there. So what we need to do is basically the same thing we did before. We're going to change Edelman to a go route because now that's going to make that cornerback have to get the hell out of the way. We're going to make Demaryius Thomas's route a slant. So now that corner is going to get taken away by Edelman. He's either going to have to chase him or he's going to get picked. In the corner, who's on Demarius Thomas, is not going to, basically, we're going to be turning for a slant inside of that corner. So now he's going to be wide open again. And you can just see how that defender on the right came inside before the receiver did. Because, again, the AI defense knows what you're doing before you do it. And we'll just do one last route because I'm having too much fun with this here. Okay, and here's the perfect route for this. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Look at this. Who's open? Actually, nobody, because you can see corner, 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 and a safety on all three receivers on the left side. Linebackers on Watson. What we're going to do here is we're going to have Watson run a streak here. He's going to be wide open because he's going to beat the corner, and the safety's not going to get there in time because we're basically throwing away from the defense. So Watson before was running this stupid slant through all those linebackers, which, you know, not going to work. But if you look where the defense isn't, they are not, basically that whole right corner of the field is just no defense. So we'll put Watson on the streak, throw to him, he will be wide open, bang, 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 there you go. All right, guys, well, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, hope you got something out of it. Other than that, until next time, I'm just going to do this one, guys. Thanks for watching.